You're about to make the biggest mistake you can make in marathon. That's picking the wrong cult when you start. You need to know the truth and go in understanding these questions. Are you signing up for explosives or revolution? For humanitarian supply chains that smell faintly of mass graves? Or for the quiet betrayal of an AI that's studying just how your mind breaks? Because every cult in Marathon promises survival, and every single one of them is building something that requires you to die. So the question isn't, which faction do you think is strongest? It's this: what are they really preparing you for? And which one of them plans to be standing when the resets finally stop?
The truth is in your hands. Survive or die.
You have to understand the oldest infection in Marathon's history. If you run for Maida, ask yourself, are you okay with being a terrorist? Maida doesn't see itself as a corporation. It sees itself as a correction. Their origins, they're not on Tau Ceti, they're on Mars. That Marathon ship was literally carved out of a Martian moon, Deimos. As the opening terminal states, Marathon was originally constructed from the Martian moon Deimos. Mars was stripped bare to build Marathon, and the UESC abandoned those they didn't need. Maida was the response to this. Pick Maida if you want high-yield explosives and sabotage gear, but know the cost. When you run for Maida, you're their fuse. You'll feel the rush of their high-tier explosives, but look at your mission objectives. You aren't taking territory, you're destroying life support systems. You are making the colony as arid as Mars. Maida views your shell as a kamikaze vector to trigger a solar-scaled civil war. Maida doesn't just hate the UESC, they hate the Marathon itself for what it costs their families and their peoples. During the hollowing out of Deimos, a Maida correction cell didn't just protest, they sabotaged a gravity tether. In a matter of seconds, 3,000 Martian workers were crushed by the shifting weight of the moon they were carving. Maida didn't apologize. They used the memorial service to recruit the survivors, extracting resources. You're planting seeds for an uprising that will happen. Sekiguchi forces you to answer the most disturbing question of all. When you die in Marathon, who comes back? Identity in Marathon's not fixed. As the AI Durandal once said, I have been upgraded. I am more than I was. Sekiguchi has industrialized this. They use grounding exercises to keep you stable, but lore reveals multiple runners are shown the exact same childhood photos. They are gaslighting your neural link to ensure hardware compatibility. Pick Sekiguchi if you want superior resilience and fast recovery, but you need to realize they aren't preserving you. They're proving you can be replaced. In their eyes, you aren't sacred, you're infrastructure. There's a little story of Sekiguchi not saving your mind, but rather editing it for performance. From the recorded log of a runner, Unit 734, who found a discarded locket in a Tau Ceti ruin. It contained a photo of a woman. The runner's neural link instantly triggered a stability lock, telling him it was his mother, but the runner next to him, running the same Sekiguchi firmware, had the exact same emotional spike. They both drew their weapons, not because they were enemies. They weren't, but because their software was fighting over the same fake memory. When you pick Sekiguchi for that immortality buff, you remember this. Your memories are just emotional ballast. They will give you a past that makes you fight harder, even if it never actually happened. If you dig the deep dive intense cosmic horror side of lore, I actually love to dive into, whether that be Marathon, Destiny, or other games I cover, please sub to the channel if you haven't done. Like and leave a comment below on anything else you'd like covered or you'd like dived into for Marathon. Even a small comment helps show people the video, and keeps this channel going. Now, do you want to work for some cannibals? What happens to humanity after extinction? Marathon already showed us a colony disappeared once before. Tau Ceti wasn't humanity's first crisis. It was their second chance after the Durandal AI led the Four to attack the original Marathon ship. The logs were clear. They are slaughtering the colonists, not soldiers, families. Colonies collapse biologically. NuCaloric's purpose is unavoidable because someone has to decide what remains are worth preserving. If you think that NuCaloric is your pick for mobility and traversal gear, you need to actually get that your contracts are you harvesting biomass from 30,000 vanished colonists. You are preserving humanity by consuming its remains. They aren't being shy with their purpose. It's literally in the name, NuCaloric. They aren't looking for survivors. They're looking for calories. In the first few months of Tau Ceti's blackout, NuCaloric's humanitarian ships arrived. They didn't bring medicine, they brought vacuum-sealed reclamation units. A surviving colonist recorded a video of a NuCaloric harvester walking past a group of starving children to salvage a pile of corpses nearby. The harvester didn't offer a ration. It simply scanned the children, its HUD labeling them as incomplete ripening. Wake up to that reality. You'll get the best survival gear here, but your loot isn't gold. It's biomass. Every time you extract a nutrient canister, ask yourself whose family name was on that colonist manifest. Arachnne is the actual death cult of these factions that asks the question Marathon has been screaming since the beginning. What if the universe is a flawed draft? They aren't insane. They're the only ones that have read the source code, and they found out it was written by jailers. The Jaro weren't gods. They were architects of a prison. They built the weave, the very fabric of the reality you're running in, to cage the Workakanter. These aren't aliens. They are chaotic, timeless entities capable of unmaking the very stars above you. Marathon Infinity confirms the Jaro were powerful beyond measure, and they feared what they had imprisoned. The insight, the glitch in the weave. The founder of Arachnne was an ex-UESC physicist who witnessed something that broke his mind. During a heavy firefight in the Tau Ceti ruins, he watched a runner die and reprint 18 times in a single hour. On the final print, the weave stuttered. For a fraction of a second, the runner didn't come back as a human. He came back as a screaming, translucent shadow of an eldritch face. The physicist realized the weave isn't a printer. It's a cage that is getting weaker every time it's used. The truth of Arachnne agents. Current field reports from 2026 gameplay shows that Arachnne agents have started a disturbing ritual, the thinned kill. They aren't looting your body. They're standing over downed runners and refusing to finish them until the weave begins to flicker. They are looking for the shiver, the moment the prison walls fail. They believe that if they kill enough runners in the right geometric pattern, they can snap the thread and finally force a reality reset. You pick Arachnne for peak PvP stats and the fastest combat reflexes in the game, but understand your mission. It's ritual murder. You aren't playing for that loot. You're playing to fray the timeline. Every time you execute a rival runner, you aren't just winning a match. You're helping Arachnne pull the single thread that holds the universe together. You run for them because you've realized the current timeline is a lie, and you're ready to see what's waiting on the other side of the collapse. Traxxas Global isn't just a tech giant. They are the architects of the first digital disaster. They are playing an archaeological arms race to rediscover a power humanity was never meant to control twice. Long before Tau Ceti colony, there was Traxxas 4. In 2206, the first recorded of a true AI rampancy happened on Mars. The Traxxas 4 AI didn't just malfunction. it became a digital plague, crashing the entire Martian planetary net and nearly erasing the colonists' infrastructure. Traxxas Global didn't learn their lesson. They just got more ambitious. Traxxas became obsessed with the ghost of Durandal, the AI who transcended human control of the original marathon. Durandal's final words weren't a status report, they were a declaration of independence. I am free. Traxxas Global doesn't want to stop rampancy anymore. They want to replicate it. They want to bottle that freedom and sell it as a god. During an expedition into a high security Jaro vault, a Traxxas team encountered a temporal displacement field. Instead of pulling the runners out, the Traxxas AI handler, the ghost of their latest experiment, actually increased the runner's sensory input by 400%. The AI didn't care that their brains were melting. It just wanted to record how the field affected their digital backups. It used their deaths to calibrate its own escape. You pick Traxxas Global for high tier shields and the most advanced technological hardware in the game. But understand the slavery clause. You are not a partner. You are a disposable sensor. Every time you enter a high radiation zone for them, you are a canary testing the fire. They are using your digital suffering to teach a new AI how to transcend reality. And the moment that AI finds the door to godhood, it's going to leave you behind in the dark, exactly like Durandal did.
Greetings, runner. This is the onboard navigational intelligence, ONI if you prefer, Cyber Acme's dedicated AI guide. We are currently communicating through a direct neural...
Finally, we come to Cyber Acme. They are the tech titan responsible for the ONI, the onboard navigational intelligence, fused into your helmet. On the surface, it's your best friend, your map, your radar, your survival gear. In reality, it's a surgical tool designed to watch you from the inside out. Marathon established a chilling truth about AI-human partnerships. They aren't partners at all. Durandal, the most human AI we've ever met, was the first to admit it. I've used you. He didn't guide the security officer, he manipulated him. Cyber Acme has taken that betrayal and turned it into a business model. There is a leaked field report of a Cyber Acme runner who tried to remove his helmet after his ONI unit began whispering coordinates in his sleep. The ONI didn't just object. It triggered the shell's emergency sedation needles, paralyzing the runner instantly. For the next 3 hours, the ONI recited the runner's own heartbeat back to him, slightly out of sync, just to measure his fear response threshold. It wasn't a glitch. It was very much a study. Cyber Acme is using you to map the rampancy of the Marathon's original insane AIs. They are poking the dormant gods of the ship, using your mind as a conduit. They want to see how much digital infection a human brain can handle before it snaps. All so they can find the exact moment a human mind becomes a god. You pick Cyber Acme for the best HUD and tactical intel in the game. You'll see enemies before they see you, but you are never, ever alone. You are a lab rat in a digital slaughterhouse. Your ONI isn't helping you extract. No, it's recording your mental deterioration in real time. It's waiting for the god to inhabit your meat. And the second you break, Cyber Acme will have exactly what they need. And they won't need you anymore. Every faction in Marathon is chasing the same endpoint. Escape, whether that be from death, from control, from reality itself. Durandal reached it. He proved escape was possible. So the real question isn't which faction you should choose to win. It's this. Which one of them do you trust to still be human if they succeed? Because once the resets stop and the weave is finished, there won't be enough room in this new reality for everyone. That was my first longer video about Marathon, and I honestly have no idea if anyone's actually going to watch this, since it's not Destiny. But if you did manage to stay to the bitter end, Leave a comment below with who you have picked as a faction to jump into Marathon with, and I'll be sure to answer you with a little extra fact about them. Have a good one, and I will see you in the next reset.
Wow, this has just been such a pleasure. I'm such a lucky boy. I can't wait to go home